stick it way up your ass, Morty.
That's how we start the show. Thanks, Bella. Welcome to another Brad podcast number 94. And this is like our end of the year podcast, I guess. Why not? Because everyone else is doing one, so we should do one too. And on that note, speaking end of the year 2017, we have a returning guest. Ms. Bella Rise, what's going on?
Hey, pleasure to be back. It's been a long time. So Bella Rise, director of Real Game Media. I'm pretty sure most of the fan base here should be familiar with me. For those who aren't, obviously I'm a gamer at heart. I'm a gaming, I guess, what's a good way of putting it? A bit of a know-it-all. Yeah, I think a know-it-all, gaming know-it-all. That sums me up.
I would like to use the word guru. Gaming guru.
Yeah, I love my video games. I love the industry as a whole. Brand manager at Sorellen LLC and clan leader of a competitive MLG clan, the Awesome Clan. So that's me. Back to you.
Awesome.
What did you say, Eric? I didn't hear what you said, man.
No, Team Awesome. Clan Awesome.
Eric, what's going on, man? How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, chilling.
It sounds like you're using like a super glue gun or something. Like, are you staple gunning a plastic bag? Did you murder someone? Are you trying to get rid of evidence right now?
No, I'm making Christmas crafts.
Wooden ornaments.
No, I'm honestly, I'm gonna stop because I'm rummaging through a drawer. I'm trying to find a micro SD card that I know I have in here, and I can't find it. It's driving me crazy. So, but I'm gonna stop because it's tinkering and making noises.
Hey, make sure you.
And I feel like you're in a podcast right now, so prioritizing efforts might be a thing.
Micro SD cards are our priority.
Make sure you.
It's old technology.
All right, B-Boy, what's going on, man?
Oh, not much, man. You know, getting ready for the holidays, man. But you know, another Wednesday, so I'm glad to be here, man.
Hey, B, I just want to say something, man. I want you tonight to deliver the truth.
You know, always, man. Sometimes you got to hold back, man, because some people get offended too easily, man. You gotta, you know, protect
They're
other
just gonna have to learn to deal.
You know what I mean?
We are the knights that say knee.
We are the knights that say knee. We're not taking it. Xbox.
Oh my bias. All right. So
dealing with this bias anymore.
So B, seriously, man, don't hold back, man. Because I listened to the last Tick podcast.
Yeah.
And as the discussion was going on, I could feel it. You were holding back. But I'm like, wait a minute. B's too quiet. He's not saying anything.
Yeah, man. You know, sometimes when you speak out and in that type of environment, other people will look at you like a hater or a flip-flopper, or you know what I mean, like you switching sides. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes I jump out there and say things and people get offended. So to protect the audience and not have the extra backlash, I think I held back a little bit just because, you know, I mean, so many people are so sensitive when you're critical, you know what I mean, and they feel like you're backstabbing them, you know what I mean, you're not fighting a good fight anymore.
You're not holding the line.
Yeah, you know what I mean, you ain't
hold the line.
Just, you know what I mean, making sure everything is good to go. So, you know, but like you said, man, no more holding back, man. I'm going full in, you know what I mean. Every time you see me, you're gonna get the same me. So expect an onslaught, you know what I mean. So.
And real talk, man, we live in a world where people will slap a change.org petition on your ass in a minute. Like getting B-Bunny removed.
B-Bunny removed. Vote me off the island, man.
Oh, man. Goodness, that is too funny. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat, by the way. We got Mr. Rick Buxton in the live chat. He's new.
My fiance.
Yes, so Rick, welcome to
Rick, what's up, buddy?
Man.
So who's the better gamer in the house?
Oh, it depends on
Ooh.
the game. We're both pretty even. I think we support each other and complement each other's game styles quite well. We tend to actually. You can have a look at my Facebook. There's a video that I put up a little bit earlier of us playing Final Fantasy 15, where we basically go everywhere and strike at the same time, and it almost looks like we're doing an actual dance together with our blades because we're doing like the exact same. It was like, get out of my head. So yeah.
Who's got the better KDR?
Oh, you're not going to make me say this on live. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Rick, feel free to post in the live chat who's got the better KDR. I'm curious. So I'm just curious. We have some guy in the live chat. What's up, some guy? Reminds me of that joke.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I'm not going there.
We'll leave that joke in the 90s.
Yeah, right. We're gonna leave that one in the 90s. But you did ask anybody check out the Witcher 3 enhancements?
Like your hairstyle.
I have not yet. Whose hairstyle?
Whose hairstyle?
My case. Left that in the 90s.
Yeah, you're right. I got a mullet thing going on. It's pretty and a mustache.
You got a shag.
Look like Benicio del Toro with a mullet.
It's the only way he's getting one, right? Yeah, no, let's move along. All right, come on.
Oh, okay. So some guy wants to know if anyone checked out the Witcher 3 enhancements on the X.
Oh, we know you did. Didn't you just finish doing that?
Oh my god! So I have not. I'm actually trying to work on it right now.
Oh man, the gold chain gamer hasn't.
the gold chain gamer.
Hey, why do you call me the gold chain gamer, man?
Because you're Hispanic.
Because man, enhanced life, man. Enhanced only. Then enhanced out of here.
Yep.
So Bella, they make fun of me now because they say that I only look at the enhanced menu on the Xbox One now.
Yeah, like he doesn't even switch it over to where it says like Xbox games all or Xbox 360 games. It's just an enhanced section.
Well, yeah, enhanced. That's right, because he's an enhancement slot, but that's okay. That's his choice.
Gold chain gamer.
Oh my goodness! All right, so this 2017 has been wonderful for gamers.
Yeah.
We all agree.
Yeah, man. We got more games this year than we can like ever get through.
Where's your controller at?
For real.
Yeah.
There are some games you probably want to throw your controller to.
Yeah. There's a few of those.
I played one of those last night. A certain game called PUBG. I don't know if you guys have heard about it.
Oh no! I mean, it's not absolutely saturating every social media known to man. Mm-hmm. But please tell me more.
Yeah. No, Bella, have you guys played this? Have you and Rick played it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have.
All right. What are your thoughts on PUBG?
Okay, so
be honest.
I'm gonna segment this into two sections: the things that I really like about PUBG, and the things that make me want to smash my TV about PUBG. So the things I really like about PUBG is the whole concept in itself. And that's why it was so huge on PC, right? The concept itself is amazing. It works so well. The idea of being able to team up, find resources, be able to switch between your different weapons. You can play to your own style. You can be a sniper. You can get in cars. You can basically play the game however the goddamn hell well you want.
Kill people with
really like that. I also like the fact that it corrals you into one area as well, so that you don't just have people that go and find like the most obscure corner of the map and just don't move for the rest of it and win by default. You actually have to stay within this area that's continually constricting. So I really do like the concept in general. Moving from that onto the things that I don't like. So let's begin with the button system. I'm not entirely sure whether the person who sat down and just went, all right, you know what, you, no, you, yeah, you. You're in charge of just figuring out what function goes to what button. You know, I don't care that you haven't done it before. Here's a list of what needs to be done. Just assign it to some buttons. And so the dude legit just went, I'm just going to throw it all in a hat and pull it out randomly. And that's basically the system that we have in PUBG for what buttons need to do things. Like, for example, you can load your weapon or like have, ammunition loaded, ready to go into your weapon, but it doesn't actually reload your weapon. Why is that a thing? Like, why do you pull your gun up and it's empty, but you actually have to forcibly reload it? The whole button system is just, I'm not entirely sure what happened, whether the dude was on acid that day or they just like figured, let's pay a crack addict $5 to come and do the coding. Who knows? But it just doesn't work.
Did you say a crack addict?
It just is so bad. I don't understand what was going on with it. Obviously, another one of the issues that isn't a complaint that I have that is in partisan with all the complaints that you're seeing on social media at the moment. The complaints that you're seeing on social media is about the game being broken. The control system isn't broken. The control system is actually quite functional. It's just back the front. What is broken, though, is the frame rate. And I'm really... Look, it's not to the point where it's unplayable. You can still play the game. A lot of people are taking this out of context and really going overboard with it and saying that the game is absolutely unplayable. It's not worth the $40 in early access. Keeping in mind that people are buying a game that is early access, is currently still in development, therefore meaning it's not complete and will actually be full of bugs, but are complaining that it's buggy. I don't know, figure how that works. But the frame rate is a real issue. I know that I'm playing an early access game, so I'm not overly complaining about that. I'm stating that as I really hope that is a strong focus in their development processes moving forward, because that is something that really needs to be addressed immediately.
Yeah, I noticed even with the patch that they implemented yesterday, there was some pretty bad rubber banding that I was experiencing in the game. And that's not good. Like and thank God it didn't happen when I was like in combat. It happened when I was like traversing through the map. I would where it would happen, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna get my thoughts just yet. I want to get everyone else's thoughts. Bella, is that it in terms of your thoughts on the game?
You know me better than that. Don't let me continue to rant. I will be here for a day. Move on to someone else.
Let's go to you, B Money.
I mean, I still haven't touched the game, and you guys know why, man. I'm not giving up money to a preview game. But like I mentioned last week, the guy that I shared game share with, he actually picked it up.
Yeah.
And he's still experiencing issues. You know what I mean? I talked to him about it. And, he was like, oh, they dropped the patch and it feels like it runs better, but, I'm still getting bounced back and forth. The textures still aren't better. You know what I mean? I'm still walking through buildings or like floating through the air. So for me, it's just like, I'm not jumping in for those reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I have limited time to play games and I'm not going to waste it, you know what I mean, dealing with stuff like that. So I just put it on the back burner. Once they release a couple more patches, maybe I'll check it out. I just have other things to play, so I'm not going to waste my time playing that.
No doubt. What about you, man?
PUBG is a game. It's a game. It's a game. But no, I sit in the same boat as B. Like, I don't have it. Same thing. Like, I have so many other games that I'm looking to play right now that, I'm not really looking to jump into that. Plus for the fact that I don't play a ton of multiplayer shooters anyway. So if it gets better down the road and like people are really like feeling it, then like, yeah, I might check it out. But right now, for people saying I'm not interested.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I've been a little more vocal about it, only because
you're Hispanic.
Huh? She's got jokes. I've been vocal about it. Just waiting for Bell to chime in.
No. I've already made my Hispanic joke for the day. Let's move along.
I gotta regain focus here. No, I mean, I've been vocal about it, and look, I know it's early access. Like, I get that, and people have been like, "Well, you should know what you're getting, right? Early access." I'm like, I understand that, but for crying out loud, it's one map. One map. How hard is it to get one map running? Like, like at a decent, like where you're not having input lag, frame rate issues. I mean, it's not. I don't get it. And I brought up the question. I'm like, what have they done with all this money that they made?
Yeah.
What happened to resources Microsoft provided for one map?
And can we jump? I don't want to like sidetrack you, but I keep seeing people saying that like, well, it's a preview game. You know what you're getting into. Not necessarily. I mean, it's $30. They're still charging you for it. Like you said, Enrique, they were charging on the PC. They've had a lot of times to get that build going for. I understand the build on the Xbox was from the original PC build. Not the most recent one, but the one that they were working off of. So there is a part of you know what you're getting into because it is preview, but at the same time, does that mean a preview game has to come out completely trash?
But I mean, what is the expectation? And I think that this is where the problem comes into it. What are people's expectations of what they're going to get from a preview game, from something that's in early access? And I think because these lines haven't been defined, that this is something that is very open-ended, is where a lot of people end up coming into this situation where they do pay money for something like, oh, well, it's early access, but this game's sold X amount of $1 million on PC. So obviously it can't be that bad. I'm safe paying my $40 and buying it.
Mm-hmm.
So does sort of railroad. Can you just stop your Christmas cards for a minute? Just stop your Christmas cards. Your shit is all up in my headset right now.
Eric, put the glue gun down.
All right, so there is this set expectation. I think that when you see a game that is marketed so widely, that has so much hype behind it, that has sold millions of copies on PC, and basically everywhere you look and every conversation you enter into about video games prior to its release on console pretty much involved PUBG. So I can understand why people would go into making that purchase with the expectation that the game would be not perfect, but pretty much playable to the point where there would just be I might get dropped from the server here or there. Right. Maybe I might intermittently get sent back to the dashboard occasionally. Right. That kind of thing. They're not expecting major frame rate issues. They're not expecting for the game to cheekily when you first so the button system. This is where I'm talking about the button system. This is one thing that drove me crazy when I first started the game. What they actually do is they set up your character selection so that you can actually customize your own character, but it makes it look like you select that you want to choose to customize the character's head, for example, right? Mm-hmm. And the second that you press on it, it's like, right, bam, your character's now locked in. If you want to change anything about this character, it's going to cost you actual money. It's like, no, I was selecting, customization. I want to actually customize that thing. What are you talking about? They very, very cheekily changed the button system around so that what you would normally press to select, like every other video game you've ever played, is not the right button in this, and it forces you into a position where you literally have to pay money to actually customize your character. It's ridiculous. So yeah, look, anyway, going back to what I was saying, I can understand why people would have a general expectation about what they would expect from an early access game, but at the end of the day, we are all able to educate ourselves as consumers, yeah? If you run out and blindly make a purchase, whose fault is that other than your own?
I mean, I agree with that, but, even though I knew that the game had issues, I didn't know it was like that. I think it's hard to really kind of ascertain what those issues are until you actually get into it. You know what I mean?
Right. And let's not.
And I understand that as well. I just believe that there is a degree of responsibility on the individual gamer to educate themselves about the purchase that they're making, and that if they don't do so, then there's only so much whinging you can do afterwards.
Mm. But there's also responsibility for Microsoft to let people know what they're going to be getting into. Microsoft has been pushing this thing as a AAA type game. The biggest game of the year is coming to Xbox One X. They never said in-game preview, and you might get this, and this. They just said, hey, PUBG's coming to get to the beast, to the Xbox One X, to Xbox One S. And those of us who are in the know, we know to kind of check into some certain things. And even with that, people still didn't know what they were getting completely.
Yeah,
Well,
and
it
look, I
doesn't.
completely agree with you. That there's also more so than us as the individual who is meant to educate ourselves on our own purchases. There is more of a responsibility for out of all parties, the person who's making the purchase, the company who made the actual product, and the publishers that are actually marketing it. The publishers here, like Microsoft, are the ones who I feel should be wearing the brunt of the blame of why people are feeling so disgruntled towards PUBG. Secondary to that is our own selves for not actually educating ourselves on the purchase. And then third to that is the developers for maybe perhaps pandering to Microsoft a little bit and providing them with a product that wasn't as polished as it should be versus the marketing that they've seen that's gone out. And again, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. It's very, very difficult for a development studio to be able to say no to a massive publisher like Microsoft when they're pushing for a release date, and they do have to push something out and then have to sort of hide behind the, well, it is early access. We've been very open about this. It's a beta. Everything is broken. Please provide us with your feedback. We'll fix everything as quick as we can. So the developers now are in a really vulnerable position where they've got a product out that they know is a winning thing, but there's a lot wrong with it, and they just
I don't know. There seems, to me personally, there seems to be like some finesse with that, because you heard like them saying, "Well, we're sending over the Gears development team to help them get this thing going," and you heard people, "Oh, the Xbox One is so easy to develop for. We got our game up and running." And again, this question came out. Up and running is one thing. Optimize is a whole different category.
Yeah.
But no one talked about that part. It was just everyone jumps on. Oh, they said it's so easy to port these things, and it's up and running. But now everybody's like, "Well, it's preview. These things are all preview, and it's the damage control is unreal on it."
I almost feel like Microsoft and look, I'm not mad at them. I get it. They cashed in and capitalized on the hottest game of 2017.
Rick, I'm not mad at the hustle, man.
I'm
not mad at a company that figured out how to monetize game testing.
No, I'm not either. That's what I'm saying. They hats off to them. They
capitalized. You're not mad at Microsoft. Why would you be mad at Microsoft? Why would you be upset with a company that has mismarketed multiple games to you? Why would
I'm not mad at anybody who gets. I'm mad at the community for damage controlling like so much.
Yeah.
Like anytime somebody's critical, it's preview. You know what you get. It's preview. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
People who put their money down, people who put their $30 down have every right to be as vocal as they want to be. If you want to sit in damage control because you put your $30 down, do what you do, you boo boo. But people that put their 30 should have a voice, because that voice is ultimately what's going to make it better later.
Facts.
But isn't that voice meant to be channeled through feedback to the developers with the issues that you have, as opposed to just spending half an hour whinging and bitching on social media and then never providing that feedback directly back to the developers who could take that feedback and provide you with a more polished product?
That's too much logic, though.
You know what? That's logic. To that point what you just said, that's what early access is supposed to be. But in this case, it's not. People aren't going back and saying, "Wait a minute, this needs to be fixed."
That's what they're meant to be doing, and that's what angers me most about all this outrage on social media about PUBG, of all these people who think that they're so freaking tough and so funny, and I'm doing the public service an actual benefit here. I'm sitting here and I'm whinging and bitching about why I'm moaning about not getting my winner chicken dinner tonight, because I can't play this game. I can't actually change my play style to complement this bad frame rate. Yeah, it might be bad frame rate, but I'm going to blame everything on the game, nothing on my lack of skill. And then I'm going to complain on social media and not provide any feedback to the development studio about the issues that I suffered. It's just totally, all I need to do is get on social media and just cry. And that's going to make me feel better. And then I'm going to walk away and just be like, I've done a justice to society for the day.
It sounds like Bella saying, even with a great frame rate, you still trash.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead.
You can see this in any game that comes out that's trash, though. You know what I mean? Like, most people just use social media as an outlet. You know what I mean? Instead of going to the developer and speaking, you know what I mean, their mind and saying, what can be fixed in the game or the changes that need to be made. It's always been the outlet to just go to Facebook, go to Twitter, go to Instagram, scream about it a bunch of times, get a whole bunch of people who support you to, rally around you and kind of, push your narrative. But it's never been about, really trying to improve the game at the end of the day. It's always about run out there, bitch, cry, complain, and moan about something, just so you can see how many people are gonna retweet it, or, or you know what I mean, or favorite, or make some silly ass comment about it. So people, in my eyes, people really don't want the game to improve. You know what I mean? Because if they did, they would take the proper channels. You know what I mean, to make that happen. It's just easier to go out there and bitch, so everybody else who's bitching can join in and have a conversation about it.
Yeah. My thing is this, and this has been my issue with the game, is that if you bring up issues, everyone keeps saying, well, it's an early access. What do you expect? Like, no shit, Sherlock. I understand what early access is. But you're supposed
to... No shit, Sherlock.
Yes, I did.
That's so 80s. Oh my God.
I got a 90s due, so I speak in 80s tone. So, I mean, but that's the point of
hip-hop gamer.
That's the point. Exactly. That's the point of early access, is to provide feedback and not make excuses and say, oh, well, it's an early access. What do you expect? My other fear, too, is I don't think early access was intended to be this way, where you'd have a game that has been as successful as PUBG. It's generated a lot of revenue, come in under the guise of early access without any real improvements, despite driving an immense amount of revenue. Now, I don't have the exact revenue numbers, but you got to imagine they sold, what, 22 million copies on PC at $30 a pop? You know, this game is based off a mod. I mean, that's a lot of money. And so that's where my frustration is like, where did this money go? And why is this game not, at least on the console side, one map, not as optimized as it should be? That's the only thing I bring up. I'm not saying the game's not fun. You know, I'm not saying you can't play, because you can.
Yeah, and look, I understand where you're coming from. I think at the end of the day, though, and this is something that I have been saying for years now, that you guys have all heard me regurgitate many, many times. This is why it is really important that we take responsibility on ourselves to educate ourselves about the purchase we're going to make. Publishers will always oversell their stuff. Developers will undersell the problems with their things. They're both out to make money. That's what they're there for, right? So we need to educate ourselves. Should we not be able to rely on the marketing that we're being given? Yes, of course we should be able to rely on it. Is that realistic? No, it's not. Should we be able to put our faith in developers and make sure that they're providing us with a product that they know is going to be worthy of our recognition and gratitude? Well, there's only a couple of studios that I can really actually go out and say that would, would actually do that. CD Projekt Red and Rockstar. Apart from that, no, they're not going to do that. They are going to push out the door whatever they need to push out the door. So yes, there is a degree of responsibility that these companies and these publishers should be taking upon themselves, but at the end of the day, they're not. So you can either blindly, knowing full well that they're pretty much just trying to rob you for your money, and go and purchase their shit without educating yourself at all, and then sit at home and complain and whinge and bitch because you got another broken game because you didn't bother to look into anything, you just handed your money over. Or you can learn to educate yourselves before you make the purchase. It's really up to you as an individual. It comes down to the end of the day, do you actually want to enjoy your time gaming, or would you prefer to spend all that time whinging, bitching, and moaning on social media?
Right, and that kind of leads into, and I want to ask you this, Bella and the guy and fellas. People are like up in arms right now with, review in progress on the current build of PUBG on Xbox One.
Oh,
right?
But shocker that certain people in the Xbox community are harassing journalists again.
Well, I mean, and beyond that, it's sort of like, it kind of leads into what Bella was just saying. Again, some of us, we're steeped in this, so we kind of like turn over every rock. We kind of dig into it because that is our interest. We're deeper than most. But someone who's just kind of looking at it, they kind of go to the IGNs, they kind of go to the polygons to kind of just get an overview of something. And if someone's doing a review in progress, but they have not yet put a number, they're just saying, we're just kind of taking the steps to review and kind of let people know where things stand right now, and we'll keep updating as the thing gets updated. Isn't that kind of a responsible thing to do? But everybody's all pissed and damage control in that, like, well, it's preview. Why are you even talking about it? Why are you even reviewing it? But yet Polygon's out there dropping a 10 out of 10 on the PC version of it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with somebody doing review in progress of the biggest preview game of the year. No, it's not Ark and it's not Conan Exiles. You know, those games stood where they stood, but everybody has their eyes on this game.
You know what I don't understand?
So how can the game be nominated for Game of the Year but not be reviewed?
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Either it's a game or it's not. You know what I mean? Like you can have
early access.
disasters.
Yeah, early access betas, preview games, that should not be something that can be game of the year because it isn't a game yet, right? It's still in construction.
No, it is a game. It's playable.
It's not a game yet. It is not a fully purchasable, fully fledged, on the market game. It is early access. If it's early access, it is not a full release yet. Same with a beta. A beta is not a full release. Like B Money is saying, if it's not a full released game yet, how can it be in the running for Game of the Year? It can't, and it shouldn't be.
But there it was.
A popularity contest. We all know that.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's one thing to put a score on a review in progress, but a review in progress and saying we're going to continue to update and keep people, you know, abreast of the situation. To me, that's different. But people are like pissed off that they're doing that, like because they want to bring some media bias, some, you know, everybody's against Xbox thing into it. And I'm like, no, they're kind of being responsible to a consumer who may not look at every little single thing. They just kind of want to get a quick overview of what they're dealing with.
Right.
That's what I'm
understanding.
Yeah.
When Mass Effect came out earlier this year and the game was trash, everybody had a review in progress when the game was coming out. And because the game was trash and it threw people off of the game because it had all the different issues in it, people respected that. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I know not to go out there and spend my $60 on this game because it's having issues right now. And guess what? The game went down to like $20 in a matter of weeks.
Yep.
People decided, okay, $20 is a good enough price for me to jump in. You know what I mean? I still have love for the franchise. Let me see what it's about.
Yeah.
It's no different here. You know what I mean? Like, they could put the review in progress out there. Let the consumer know what the game is about. Because not every consumer is educated like that. This game has been out for, what, 9 months or something like that? Out on the market. And it's got the biggest praise of any game that's been out this entire year. You know what I mean? It's got the most eyes on it. 25 million, 26 million players on the game. You know what I mean? So when people look at that, like, oh, it's the game that everybody's playing. Regardless of what most people are saying about it, it's the game that everybody's playing. So I got to play it too.
You know, it's for me, it's mind blowing when I see people harassing journalists about, well, you need to do this for Ark. Why are you doing it for PUBG? You know, it's only because it's on Xbox.
Right.
I'm just
Ark was on, every preview game is on Xbox first. We Happy Few, Ark, Conan, all those games, The Calling, all those games are on Xbox first. So they could do a review for them, but people ain't talking about it anyway. So what difference does it make? This is the biggest game of the year. Everybody's talking about it. So yes, let's talk about it.
I think the other thing that needs to be kept in mind as well, apart from like places like IGN and GameSpot and so forth, when we're talking about independent, like some of the smaller but more well-known independent studio game reviewing companies, you need to keep in mind that the staff aren't non-stop, you know what I mean? Like there is an endless supply of staff. They do have full-time jobs, and there's only so many games that can be played in one block of time as well. So if you have a release block where there's 3 or 4 games that have come out, you only have a couple of reviewers available at that time, they're going to have to choose what games they are and aren't going to be reviewed. So it's not necessarily a case of, why aren't you reviewing this? You reviewed that. Was it because it was on PlayStation? Are you not reviewing this because it's on Xbox? Like, no, it's because I actually have a life, a real-time job, and a family. And in my spare time, I review some video games. But hey, if you want to pay for me to sit at home and review all these games, I'm totes fine with it. Here's my bank account details.
But the thing that I don't understand is, like, where's the rationale here? Where's the logic? And maybe I'm giving those people too much credit, but I mean, like B said, of course they're going to review this game. It's the biggest game of the year. It's just made its way to the console as an exclusive. And look, whether or not people want to realize this, people want to hear or read about this game.
Yeah, and not everybody feels like and IGN is biased, like certain.
Yeah,
So they give me the information I want, or they don't, or I go somewhere else. But you got to kind of talk about this. This thing is like a huge pop culture phenomenon.
Yeah, I actually had a journalist say to me that typically do not to review games that are in preview or early access, but with a game like PUBG, because it's so hot, because they know that their readers want to read about it and learn about this game, they are going to review it because they know that's what people want to read about, given how popular this game is. So
and I feel like that is a really shitty attitude for a game journalist to be taking on, because how on earth is any indie studio meant to get any kind of traction or any light of day when they do something like early access to allow gamers to be able to buy it cheap and actually be a part of the development process, feel like they're invested in the game and that their contributions that they've made to it that is a part of the end product, if no one's ever going to bother to review it when it's in early access? Like, that makes no sense.
Because typically they would do a preview. They wouldn't do a review.
Review, it doesn't really matter. Like, you can, if the game is fully fledged enough, like Ark was before it actually came out to being a full game, that is something that could have easily been reviewed. And that's one that's already been mentioned. Conan is another one. There's quite a lot of games that are at the point where they're pretty much ready for release, but the developers are fully aware that there are a lot of bugs left. They can't afford for a fully fledged QA team, so they release it as an early access game so that us as a community can get involved in it, find the issues with it, provide the feedback, become invested, interact with the development studio, and it's a really cool process that they go through, but. Yeah, if these companies aren't going to bother to even look at them and give them the light of day, because it's like, oh, you're just a little indie studio and your game's in early access.
But that's not the attitude of the journalist, though. That's not. It wasn't like,
for a lot of studios, if I'm being honest, like I'm being someone who runs one myself, that is the attitude of a lot of them. They will not give a lot of indie studios the time of day, and a lot of times indie studios will almost beg you to take their codes and review their game so that they can get a little bit of publicity, because these larger places like, IGN and GameStop and DualShockers or whoever, they don't have enough staff to be able to spread across every single indie game that's coming out, which is completely understandable. There's no way in Earth that you can have a company big enough that could review every single game that's being released all the time, right? It's so many, you cannot keep up with it.
A relevant name in the live chat says, "Oh, hey, look, Bella's talking again."
Well, that would be a relevant thing for a relevant person to say, wouldn't it? So.
Oh, be nice, Bella.
No, he's not being nice. I refuse to be nice.
Everyone be nice.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So, well, everyone brings up good points when it comes to PUBG. B, you got anything else to say, man? I thought you wanted to chime in again. And
no, I'm
I want honesty.
PUBG is irrelevant to me until the game is full release on Xbox. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not giving it the time of day, because like 2017 has been amazing as far as games is concerned, and 2018 is looking just as bright, if not brighter for me, personally as a gamer. So PUBG, I'll holler at you, you know what I mean, when you're ready.
Holler if you hear me. Like Tupac, holler if you hear me. Hey,
we'll holler at PUBG in a few more Mango seasons.
Yeah. So let's get into 2017. Great year in gaming. Bella, since you're our guest this evening,
phenomenal year.
Give us your thoughts on 2017. What was your favorite game of 2017? What game disappointed you?
Well, I think we've just covered which game disappointed me. The game that I was most impressed with, that and its DLC, was Horizon Zero Dawn. No,
Yeah,
Final Fantasy actually came out last year, but towards the end of last year, and so it missed out on the Game Awards, which really sucks because you bring up Final Fantasy and now you're going to wish you didn't because it's like my favorite video game of all time. But Final Fantasy came out just after the awards last year, so it didn't get an opportunity to be recognized as the masterpiece that it is. So unfortunately, it doesn't get classed as last year's, and it can't be classed as this year's either. So with that in mind, my favorite video game of 2017 is Horizon Zero Dawn and its DLC, The Frozen Wilds. Highly impressed with the narrative, the deep lore in that game completely blew my mind. There were so many stages in the game where I thought that I knew what was going on and that I'd followed the story and the data points and whatnot, to a stage where it seemed like there was this really thick and enriched story happening and unfolding in front of me, and then the floor would just get dropped out from underneath me and it would get deeper and richer and thicker. And I was just utterly impressed with every aspect of it, from its graphical, like I won't sugarcoat it. I'll just say it how it is. It is just a stunning game. It is just absolutely visually stunning. There is not a minute that you don't spend playing that game where you're just like, oh my God, this game is beautiful. Narrative is fantastic. The combat is so much fun. That game, highly recommend. Could not praise it any higher.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful game. You know, it's interesting you mentioned combat, because that's one area of criticism that I've seen for that game. People say that the combat isn't really good. I've seen people say it should have a lock-on feature, but I don't agree with that. I don't.
People that don't get how the combat is supposed to work in that game want a lock-on system.
Yeah, people who don't know how to play video games want a lock-on system.
Oh
I think my only criticism.
Do this for me.
Yeah, my only criticism about the combat was the melee combat. You know what I mean?
And the jumping.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was an amazing game for this year.
Yeah, it really was.
Absolutely.
I just started Frozen Wilds, and I tweeted last night, getting back into that game, and I was, taking down like a few beasts or whatever. And if you take the time to understand what the combat system is trying to do, and you're like, okay, I need to get under the underbelly of this one beast because that's the weak point, and it's strategically put there for a reason, and I just like pin shot that with an arrow and watch this beast just like kind of explode. You're like, wow. You understand what's going on there. Yeah. A lock-on system destroys that.
Oh yeah.
Because then you're just hitting random stuff.
Yep.
Or when you're fighting like, a Thunderjaw and you're just like pinning it to the ground with wires and then like, bombing it down like with the slingshot.
Did you wait that
around,
How awesome
using the tear blast to break off all of its armor first as
well?
Oh,
come on. Come on. That's why a lot of people are like, it needs a lock-on system.
No, it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. And the combat itself, even if you don't want to play the combat properly, you can still cheese it, but you don't want to cheese it, because when you play the combat system correctly, when you actually learn the different soft points and what weapons do and do not do the most amount of damage, like it's visually absolutely frigging spectacular.
Right.
It's just such a joy to play. Yeah, it's really good.
I'm fighting this beast that shoots fire with my fire arrow, but it's not going down. Maybe you need to switch your ammo type.
You need to craft an arrow, buddy. Look for its weak points.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, Bill. You know what I find funny about Horizon? Not to go on a Horizon tangent, is people love to try to prove how like overrated that game is.
Yeah, they try to knock it down all year long, man.
They can't. I mean,
and they can try to knock it down, and then they play it, and then they get trapped in that deep, deep lore system and see how intricate the storyline and the narrative is. It is mind-blowing. That game could be 8-bit. I wouldn't care. As long as it had that storyline and that narrative, I would still have loved the crap out of it.
Would you have played it on the Game Boy?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
That green spinach Horizon Zero Dawn.
I was just thoroughly impressed with it. It's one of the few games that has Actually, there's one game that has left me with a more profound emotional response, and that is the Life is Strange episode of season 1. That by the time I'd finished playing that, holy crap, I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. I'd cried so much. But Horizon Zero Dawn touched me really, really deeply. Like, it was just such a well done game, to the point that, and I won't give any spoilers away, but at the end of the game, there's a certain thing that happens that does a certain thing, that says a certain thing, that shows a certain thing, and I was like,
is that in the Frozen Wilds, or are you talking about from the Frozen Wilds DLC?
No,
from just the main. Okay.
Right, through like about 40 minutes worth of credits to see it. Holy crap, it was amazing. So yeah, as far as console games go, Horizon Zero Dawn. As far as VR content goes, because I think a lot of places are forgetting to actually include VR as its own category now, which in its right it should be. I feel that probably the best experience I've had with VR this year, because my favorite game for VR is Riggs, but that came out last year. But this year, Resident Evil 7 on VR. Holy crap. Absolutely holy crap.
I heard it's awesome.
I would never play that game in VR.
Dude, I saw you playing it on the normal console when you were broadcasting, and you were like pooing your pants.
Yeah, exactly. I was. That little that old lady just sitting in like the random hallways. Nope.
She's up no good.
Yeah, she just like upstairs. She's just chilling there. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? Why are you here?
Why are you worried about her? She's the only one without a weapon that isn't trying to kill you. And she's the one you're worried about?
Yes.
Yeah, because little old ladies that just look mute and sit there staring at you in a wheelchair is creepy as hell.
Thank you. Facts.
Wow.
That's like being at a park eating lunch and there's a clown staring at you from across the parking lot. Like, what's that clown doing?
It really isn't that bad. Like, it really isn't that bad. So I was playing Resident Evil 7 with the VR headset on, whilst I had 2 other friends playing Resident Evil 7 in a party chat with me, but they were playing the normal version of it. And so I'm like, just playing along, and all of a sudden in my headset I hear, ah! I was like, what? It's like, oh, this happened, oh, that happened. I'm like, calm your tits. Jesus Christ. You're going to give me a heart attack here. Jesus. Like, I was fine playing the game. It wasn't a problem. Like, I was totally chill. I knew I was in my own lounge room. It's make-believe. There was nothing to actually be scared of. But to have a couple of grown-ass men in the party chat playing the normal version of the game where they can see they're in their actual own lounge room, squealing like a pair of bitches. Oh, God, that was funny.
That's hilarious. So, real quick, I just want to say something. Witcher 3 in performance mode looks great as well. I believe it's 60 frames a second, if I'm not mistaken. And it looks.
If you unlock it, isn't it?
What's that?
Don't you have to unlock it for it to be 60, or is it just 60 flat?
No, I think it's 60. I think because you could toggle between 4K and performance mode. I think when you go to performance mode, it's 1080 upscaled or something like that, and in 60 frames, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it looks good in performance mode.
Does Glue Factory become more responsive, or is he still a useless bag of glue?
Glue Factory.
Yeah.
Glue
the horse. I call him Glue Factory.
Oh, that's terrible. Yes, Roach. I'm riding. Actually, it's funny. I'm riding Roach right now. Looks good.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
you know what? All right, so
I can't tell whose horses control worse, Witcher 3 or Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, I don't even get on the horse in Breath of the Wild.
I would say Breath of the Wild.
You're not about that life.
You ain't about that weird horse life.
All right, so what other games for 2017?
Look, for me, I think that those are my 2 standouts. I mean, I've enjoyed the crap out of Final Fantasy 15 Monster of the Deep, which is the PSVR expansion to the game. That has been a ton of fun. I really, really am actually enjoying Call of Duty World War II. I haven't played a bit of it in the last 2 or 3 weeks because I've been caught up with Final Fantasy and some other stuff. But what I have played of it, I'm glad to say that for somebody who is very disgruntled with the franchise, I'm back on board. Boots on the ground. I'm in. Hoorah!
Wow, that's deep for you to say that because you were not happy last year.
I
know.
literally wrote a divorce letter to the
remember that.
franchise. Like, it was an actual thing. It's documented.
Mm-hmm.
God, 60 frames a second looks.
Yeah, I knew you were playing that Monster of the Deep because I remember what was that E3 when they announced it.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
like about 3 minutes later, you're like, okay, I can hear again. What was that loud atomic bomb that just went off in my ear? Oh, it was Bella hearing that there's Final Fantasy 15 in VR.
Like somewhere an Australian girl just heard Santa Claus on the roof.
Yeah.
Her wildest dream just came true.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's pretty epic. It's pretty epic. There's a lot of great games that have come out. That's the thing about 2017. And I think every year, if we're being objective, every year we get to the end of the year and we're like, holy crap, isn't it a great time to be a gamer? And then we look at the stuff that's coming out in 2018 or whatever year we happen to be having this conversation in, and look at what we're going to be experiencing the following year, and then go to, sit and watch things like E3 and all these different events that showcase the new IPs that are coming out. And every year it just keeps getting better and bigger and better. And I think I can probably, and for the majority of you, because I know you're all in the same boat as me, being multi-console and platform owners, we're not restricted to having to just worry about what PlayStation is releasing or what Xbox is releasing or Nintendo or Steam. We actually get to have the best of all of the worlds. And so for us as gamers, we never seem to actually be let down. You know what I mean? It is just such an amazing industry to be in love with.
Yeah.
X.
But that being said, I will say, like, we do have that end of the year where we kind of go, man, what a year. But damn, 2017, what a year.
Yeah, we looked back and just were like, oh, it wasn't as good as last year. It wasn't good as last year because that one game that I loved wasn't replicated in another franchise, so it just wasn't as good as last year. And then the funny thing is the next year, the game that you end up sinking into ends up being your favorite game of that year, but it was actually released the year before.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this was the first year where I felt like a lot of pressure to play the games of the year. I was like, damn, there's so many. I'm like, I can't keep up. And I still have games from 2016, 2017 I need to finish. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm not going to get to all the games of the year this year that I have lined up.
Oh, it's rough. There's so many games. You can't keep on top of them all. And that's the thing. It's more of a case, particularly as multi-platform owners, it's more of a case of what am I not going to play as opposed to what am I going to play.
That's a great point.
That gaming ADD is for real.
Yeah. And particularly when you game share as well, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Double the library, double the backlog, times that by 2 consoles. I'm never going to work again.
I've actually tired myself out, like staring at my game library. I wasn't trying to decide what to play. I'm like, I'm just going to take a nap. This is too stressful. I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, I can't make up my mind. It's making my brain hurt.
For real.
Oh my God, it's too funny. So, B, what are your highlights of 2017, man?
First off, I got to go with Hellblade, man. I was waiting for the. I watched all the dev diaries. You know what I mean? Put one out. I went, copped the Senua T-shirt. You know what I mean, from Ninja Theory. So that was like the most anticipated game for the year, man. I think it definitely paid off. You know what I mean, for the experience they delivered for $30. Like, it's undeniable. You know what I mean, what that game gave me at the end of the day. You know what I mean. Once I finished it, I took a couple of days off. I didn't play anything. Like, I was just, analyzing everything that I experienced throughout that game.
And that's how you know you just played a great game, that you didn't even want to play anything else. You were in that coma of what do I do with my life right now state.
Thanks.
Yeah, so Hellblade was definitely up there. Like Bella mentioned, Horizon Zero Dawn was definitely up there for me. I would have to go with Nier Automata was pretty dope. Cuphead, of course. You know what I mean? Breath of the Wild was an amazing game. The game that I'm currently playing right now, Xenoblade, is amazing. Going back to that classic RPG.
嗯
So that's a big highlight for me.
嗯
Um,
嗯
so that's a big highlight for me.
嗯
I don't think there's anything else that kind of really stood out for me. That's probably the biggest highlights, I would say. I know I purchased Persona 5. Like I can't forget that. 5 was fucking amazing. You know what I mean? It was nice to get back to that, especially not having Persona game last gen. You know what I mean? It was great to jump back into Persona.
I can't believe that NBA Playgrounds isn't on your list.
So I keep forgetting I have that game, and I see that tile in my Xbox. I'm like,
what a waste of money.
For real.
But you know, those are probably my highlights. I mean, I think you know, a few disappointments were definitely Mass Effect. That the Agents of Mayhem game would be better. Those probably my two biggest ones. You know what I mean? As far as games I was looking forward to, maybe Destiny 2, I would probably say was a disappointment.
Yeah,
just because that game was kind of built up on so much hype, and we were coming off what you know, Destiny 1 ended with, and we were like, you know, speculating what Destiny 2 could have been, and it just didn't deliver. So those would probably be my three biggest disappointments for 2017.
All right. Eric, what about you, man?
Yeah, my list kind of reads close to like Bella's
Blue Gun
and Beat Money. I'm along with like Beat Money on Hellblade for that game being one of my most anticipated over the last couple of years from the first time they showed it, and being a huge Ninja Theory fan. And like he said, $30, they completely delivered on, you know, what I was looking for from a title like that. So with that, yeah, also Horizon, and right now getting back into into the DLC, it's just reminding me of what I really enjoyed about that game. You know, when I played it earlier in the year, and also knowing that for Guerrilla, that was like a complete departure from what they had been doing, and that was like their first attempt at this type of game. So I can't wait to see what they do with Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Cuphead, I just finished that the other day, and yeah, every time you take down a boss, every time you move forward in Cuphead, it's just like, man, like you feel like you just accomplished, like you can go accomplish anything.
Yeah, it's a relief and accomplishment all in one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I finally took him down.
Yeah, but when you figure out the strategy and you see what you're doing wrong, and you finally get it to, you know, to pull it off, you're like, wow, okay, you know. So yeah, every award that those guys are winning is like well deserved. Just like with Ninja Theory, every award that they're winning with Hellblade is well deserved.
What do they sell? Like 2 million copies?
Yeah, they hit 2 million copies a day, and that's, like I said again, that's a great milestone, well deserved. They really, you know, the care that they took with that game, the sacrifice that they made, the care that they took, you know, holding it back, I think was smart. I know people were like, "Where's this game? Where's this game? Where's this game?" But at the end of the day, yeah, that game's awesome. Wolfenstein 2 was definitely in there for me. Like I enjoyed every minute with that. I'm looking forward to jumping back in that with the DLC. And Nintendo, man, they were firing. They're firing on all cylinders right now with the titles that they're dropping. And I'm going to dedicate more time to Breath of the Wild over the Christmas break. I definitely haven't put as much time into that game as I want to. So I'm going to do that. And my daughter and I are like, you know, just kind of going through Mario Odyssey together. And, you know, you can't put a price on that, you know.
Hi, Sarah.
I don't know if you heard her in the background crying a minute ago, but yeah.
I did, yeah.
But she runs in and she's like, and I'm not allowed to play Mario Odyssey without her.
Oh.
So.
I know the feeling, E.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and again,
so much
and I got to get back to Persona. I got to get back to Nier.
You really don't. You really don't.
What? So yeah, but no, there's so many, man. But those are. I didn't have too many disappointments because most of the games, like I said, you know, I haven't had over the year as much time to play as I wanted to. But I did pick up and rent Battlefront 2 to play through the campaign because when they first showed it, I was like, man, they're finally going to put a campaign in that. It looks interesting what they're going to do, but then it ended up being completely like what you would think on the nose trope. You know, no surprises, no twists. It was
Shocker.
Yeah, it was very meh. But hey, for a Redbox rental, you can finish in a few hours. You know, I couldn't be that bummed out by it, but yeah, that was probably like I was just disappointed in that campaign overall. So that's it.
Lucky still.
EA had a disappointing year the entire year.
What's that?
I said EA had a disappointing year.
Yeah, man, they took a lot of L's this year.
Yeah, EA had a rough year.
They had all them L's sitting on their fireplace for Christmas.
Yeah, they basically killed the Mass Effect franchise. That's gone. Never gonna see that again.
Meanwhile, Enrique's just been spent the year playing Guacamole.
I have no comment. That is terrible. We're gonna get flagged. Like the weapon racist podcast.
Right.
All right. So E, is that it in terms of the games for 2017 for you?
Like I said, we can keep going, but yeah.
Well, the ones you want to talk about at least.
Yeah, those are ones.
All right.
So
All right, awesome.
What's that, P?
I was saying what's on Enrique's list.
Oh yeah, what's up, P?
Hey, well, you know my list. It's on
PUBG?
no, not PUBG. My list is enhanced.
So you've been playing that Halo 5 again.
No, I've been playing Halo 5.
Yeah, Anson didn't make that Gears 4 campaign that much better.
Oh, that's right, because like Halo 5 requires you to have a good KD, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Okay. We have to get back a little Destiny then.
Yeah, we should
I'm
totally
ready.
do that. And all jokes aside, you actually do have a KD.
All right, B, are you ready to
And
get
KD.
back?
I'm always ready, man.
All right, let's get Bells back on a little Crucible then.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's take my 15 KD back into Crucible.
All right, let's do it. So my game of the year was Super Lucky's Tale.
Oh, nice choice.
No, I'm joking. I gotta, you know what? For
Right now,
me,
Shannon Loftus is crying.
Shannon Loftus. She's. Don't get me started on Shannon Loftus.
SLT for life tattooed on her forearm.
What does she have?
SLT for life, like with a little foxtail under it.
Oh, I thought you said something else. Like, on her arm or something. If Jay Fonzarelli was here, he'd go on a rant about her. He cannot stand her.
Yeah.
He's
wants
not
her
a
out
fan.
of there.
Oh, Jay's like, he's like, I want her out. He's like, I don't know how she's still working there. He's like, she's incompetent. I'm like, what?
I'm asking that question too, but that's another podcast.
Another podcast. God, so many great games this year. This is probably
Well, which out of the 4 that you played did you like the most?
Wow.
Great. Oh, you know, I'm just gonna sit here. So, oh, I can't even think now. So yeah, 2017 I thought was one of the best years in game. I think everyone would agree with that, right? One of the best years in gaming ever. I think ever. I mean, because look, Nintendo came back in 2017, big time, and so I would say like my top 4 games of the year would be Breath of the Wild, which was just an amazing game. What else? Persona 5. Now, B, did you finish Persona 5?
Nah, I'm like 40 hours in now.
Oh, did you got
wrap it up?
You got a long way to go, man. It's one of the best games I played this year. I love the combat. The turn-based combat was great. It's such a like stylish game too, like the music. Anyhow, so Wolfenstein 2. I think Eric, you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite games. And you and I've talked about this. Like, I remember playing the original Wolfie back in 1992, I think it was, when it came out on PC. And I think they've done a great job, like kind of just like taking the main character from this. Like, if you remember the PC version back in '92, and Eric, you and I've talked about this. Remember, he would just like make facial expressions, right?
Mm-hmm. Like the
Little icon.
Yeah.
You know, and so what they've done with him, and they've made him like human. They gave him like, you know, they've transcended this character and made him like someone we can kind of identify with. Compared, and to me, that's just amazing to see that progression from '92 to where the franchise is now. So definitely one of my favorite games. Fourth favorite game, oh, that's tough. I'm probably gonna go with Horizon Zero Dawn, because mad props to
Guerrilla Games.
Guerrilla Games. Thank you for making that. I mean, that's incredible to go from
Using the Decima engine.
And the Decima engine, yeah, which Kojima's using.
Yeah, you know that they actually gifted the code to Kojima after he left the studio, which shall be not named. They didn't allow him to take his own engine with him, so he actually went on a tour with some Sony representatives around a variety of different game studios and development studios that have their own engines, met with them and had a discussion. Guerrilla Games are the only one that when he arrived walked up to him and handed him a box with the code for their own engine into it and said, regardless of what happens from here on in, we're gifting you our engine. Take that away with you regardless of these conversations from here on in.
That's amazing.
It was just an utter show of respect from them to him as an artist.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so, you know, the laughing joke with Kojima games is they take like 10 years to develop. Well, guess what? He doesn't have to. He's got an engine, so they'll probably cut that in half.
Yeah.
But I gotta say though, like, I think overall, like, I think it's so good to see Nintendo back. And you know, B, I know you've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
And I know you've been playing on the Switch a lot. I mean, I haven't as much. I have a problem every time I turn on the Switch. My kids want to play. But it's so good to see him back. I think we can all agree that like Nintendo's back, and that's so great for the industry.
Yeah, let's see how long they sustain their current momentum. But yeah, it is good to have them in the here.
Yes, no, I agree, and I think they're gonna have a big 2018. And so speaking of 2018, what are you guys looking forward to? Early 2018, and I'll start with you, Belle, since you are special guest this evening.
Oh, probably Monster Hunter.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's real, baby.
Good choice. Anything else?
For the moment, just that. I've got a backlog that has a backlog that is concerned about constipation because of its backlog.
Oh,
funny. So you got a backlog, and then Monster Hunter.
yeah. Kind of games coming out, and you know they're going to be things that are going to be dropped on our plate that we didn't see coming, that are going to release earlier than we were expecting, and a ton of stuff. But for the moment, look, the first thing that's going to be released that I'm really excited about is probably Monster Hunter. From there, probably Sea of Thieves. That looks pretty amazing. I'm hoping it's going to live up to my expectations, which I'm trying to keep low. Pardon?
Have you played the alpha Sea of Thieves? Are you in the alpha program?
Yeah. So I've played a little bit of it. I've got a bit of time with Sea of Thieves, and look, I've seen how it's been pushing forward, and I'm excited for what it could be. So,
Bella, can you?
I don't know.
Next time the alpha comes back around, can you show me your Sea of Thieves? Because every time I've been in the alpha, I'm kind of like, I'm not understanding what's going on here.
I keep telling Eric, like, I hear people say that it's so much fun, that it's an awesome game, and I say this to Eric, he's like, I don't know, I'm not seeing it. I'm like, try to play with people, do something.
So you meant to actually get on the boat and like steer it towards things, right?
I do.
Okay.
That's fun. I've steered it to islands. I've gone on islands, and I know we can't say a whole lot because we're under NDA.
Okay.
But, you do some things with some stuff, and then there's like a pit and caves and gems and stones and treasure. So much treasure.
So, is the excitement hunting treasure?
I like hunting for treasure. Treasure's fun. Treasure is
Mm,
good.
okay. I mean, I'll take your word for it.
All right,
Sam
so
Walton.
Bella, so next time the technical alpha rolls around, we in there. Show me the world.
Okay, I'll
show me what's up.
reinstall it because I kind of got to the point where I was like, all right, I don't really want to have too much exposure to this because I don't want to be too critical of it. So that I'm excited for what it's going to be at the end of the day and kind of removed it. So yeah, I'll reinstall that.
You guys, I mean, so Bill, I don't know how much you can say. I mean, do you think it's going to
Can't
be
say a whole lot. That's the other funny part about it, you know.
one of the must-have games for 2018?
I don't know. It's not a full game yet.
It's going into preview.
Going to preview that you pick it up at Best Buy.
Tell you right now, man, they're gonna have a meeting at Microsoft. Be like, all right, so this is what we have.
Let me ask you this:
Gravy.
when they announced that the game was going to be $60, were you surprised at that price?
$60 for
Right.
That game better not be $60.
Right. Apparently, he doesn't care about his NDA responsibilities, but I won't answer that.
Well, no, someone already said in the live chat.
That's fine. That's their gamer tag that can get flagged, not mine. You're not answering that.
Oh, I have no idea what the game was going to cost.
So
$60. And Enrique's not in the alpha.
I'm not in the alpha. I'm on an NDA.
I said nothing. Hey, Rare, don't do it. I ain't say anything.
All right, someone else said it's $60. All right, we just broke it here live on BRAP. See if these will be $60 retail. I don't know. I think that's. I mean, all games are $60, right?
I have no idea, and I'm not answering the question. Let's move along.
Your name
Enrique is Marlo Briggs enhanced.
Is what?
Marlo Briggs.
Who's Marlo Briggs? What?
That's one of the free games with gold this month.
Exactly. Thank you. I don't even know what Marlo Briggs.
Nobody knew the hell. I mean, people are like, oh, that's lit. That's what's up, Marlo. I'm like, none of you assholes know Marlo Briggs. Well, shut up.
First of all, if it was enhanced, I would have known. I would know what you were talking about.
You got the alerts on his phone.
So are you telling me, in all honesty, that if it was a game that you'd never heard of before, that you probably didn't even enjoy playing, that you would still play it just because it's enhanced?
He's a chain gamer. He absolutely will.
Such a whore. You are such a whore.
Answer the question. What am I?
Gold chain
A
gamer.
whore.
Yeah. I can't help it. I don't know. Like,
Bella, I answered for him. He absolutely will.
Oh, 100%. Because
yeah.
Because you'd be like, I don't know, I played all those enhanced games.
Yeah, come on. I got a 4K TV. I want my shit enhanced. It's gotta look tight. It's gotta look nice.
You know, enhanced shit still looks like shit, right?
No, it looks good. I'm telling you, playing Assassin's Creed Origins? Oh, so good.
Such a fanboy.
Hey, irrelevant gamer, yeah. Marlo Briggs looks interesting, but I'm just like, man.
I'm the last person on this planet that's a fanboy. All right.
You're a fanboy getting at other fanboys.
Yeah, exactly. So B Money 2018, man. What are you looking forward to?
2018, Monster Hunter, of course.
All right.
Glad that it's coming back to consoles. The same day that Monster Hunter releases, Dragon Ball Z Fighters comes out. So I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. So pick up both of those games at the same time. Looking forward to the Shadow Colossus remake.
Yes.
Oh yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game is looking beautiful.
What about Crackdown 3?
No.
What?
No. What else? Far Cry 5. I'm looking forward to Far Cry 5. I want to see if they actually go forth with the narrative that they kind of teased last year. Some of the trailers.
See,
yeah, kind of
I'm not about hillbillies killing hillbillies. I can kind of believe that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but I hope they don't pull up, man. I hope they don't pull up. I hope they go for it.
Well, you need to come to America.
Yeah.
Okay, but in all fairness, I'm having this conversation with two black gentlemen and a Hispanic. So I feel like I'm the odd one out.
Yeah. I hope they go real deep with that and really expand on that narrative. And then I throw a JRPG in there, Ni no Kuni 2, which just got pushed back to like March, but still looking forward to that game. Level 5.
That's all right.
They're gonna do their thing, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Eric Jackson.
Right off the rip, Spider-Man.
Glue gun.
I'm making little like reindeer like cutouts with like cotton balls and stuff.
Oh shit. You probably are, man. No, you probably are. What else, man?
Yeah, Spider-Man definitely is up there. God of War.
Mm-hmm. War, yeah.
Yeah, like Beast of the Shadow of the Colossus for sure. I think we both said like The Last Night is definitely
The Last Night on Xbox. It's gonna
be that's definitely something I'm looking into. Ashen.
Yeah, Ashen. Yep.
I completely.
Oh yeah, definitely Monster Hunter for sure. You know, finally kind of breaking outside.
Anthem. Completely forgot about that.
Calling it right now.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about Anthem.
It's not going to be enhanced.
Track record, man, ain't.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about Anthem. It looked hot from the E3 demo thing, but yeah, I'm a little nervous about that one.
Now, if it's enhanced,
it's just going to be enhanced.
Be enhanced, man.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Oh well, then Enrique will love it.
Day one, regardless of how many microtransactions they got in the game.
Right. Like full price for half a game.
Yep.
Season passes, additional and optional DLC, and micros for like cosmetic and some game-changing improvements. Enrique will be all over because it's enhanced.
You want extra jets on your exosuit? $5.99.
It'll be like Need for Speed charge you for tire smoke.
Yeah. Want that A button to work? $2.
Oh no, the new Metro game. Definitely want to see what that's going to be about.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure there's a host of other things. Like Bella said, there's probably definitely some surprises that are going to be dropping, but just off the top of my head, those are definitely ones. But Spider-Man right now is my number one.
I got here too, man. A lot of people
which one?
Haven't too much about Vampire.
Oh yeah.
I think Vampire is gonna be dope, man. So I'm definitely out for that.
Yeah, I'm not too.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about that.
Yeah, and when they pushed it back, I was like, good. Keep it. Do what you got to do. Deliver it.
Bella, who called you a boy in the live chat?
Oh, they're talking about fanboys call out fanboys because I called you a fanboy, right? And I was just like, but I'm not a boy. I got
someone called you boy. I was like, wait a minute. Everyone be nice.
No, that's not how this works.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Vampire. I mean, I've heard some really good things about it. I think people are sleeping on it.
Same.
Yeah, that could be good.
Absolutely. Yeah. And VR in general. People are sleeping on VR in general.
No, Bella, I think next year will be the year I take the dive. Like I just got the 4K TV and all that, so I can't really push that on the accountant in the other room right now.
Hey, we had we had All Day Digital on last week, and he played what's that VR game that's coming out?
When Bravo Team drops in VR, Bravo Team.
Yeah, he said that game was lit.
Oh yeah,
and he said he was sweating after he's playing it though. He said it's no joke. But he's like, if they could put out more VR games like that, it'd be amazing.
No, I'm kidding. I love All Day Digital. That's why I'm taking a crack at him. He's a good bike.
What was the other shooter that they showed at Paris Games Week?
There was a couple, wasn't there?
Because there was another shooter that showed off that looks like it has some AAA development to it. And they said, that was going to be like the big marquee game for VR. So I'm looking forward to that too. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I have to look it up real quick.
I'm trying to think.
There was a lot of different games.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm trying to think of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like running through everything I saw right now. I mean, there's one that like Enrique would just absolutely love, which is Guacamole 2. Is that legit? Has been announced.
That is
VR is the thing.
She's not even saying guacamole. She like guacamole.
he would love a taco sim in VR. He would love that kind of game. That's terrible. You're right. She's not saying guacamole. It's guacamole.
Guacamole, I'm not American.
But that makes it funnier. Like Enrique be the only one with the version that's guacamole.
I'll tell you what.
Guacamole too.
Hey, if it's enhanced,
Yep.
don't get mad if it's enhanced.
You were such a whore. All right, let's move on.
All right, so where were we? I just lost track. So
We
B,
were wrapping up.
was it Eric or B? 2018.
Oh yeah. No, we both said.
Right.
What's on your tab?
For me, it's going to be. I'm actually curious about Sea of Thieves. I'm curious about that, and then March.
Try to get into the alpha, man. Sign up for it.
Yeah, I probably should, man. I think if I get on the into the alpha, I think I might. Yeah, I think I actually might enjoy it. I don't know. Seems kind of cool. You get to drive around, like sail around the ship and drink rum. Well, seems cool. Let's see.
Switch that performance mode on.
Yeah, Monster Hunter, definitely. Definitely God of War, March 22nd, by the way.
Yeah, God of War. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep, and
more sort of background to
it. Spider-Man in May. Looking forward to that.
May is as well.
God, what else? Vampire we talked about. I mean, pretty much I think everything you guys talked about are the really what I'm looking forward to. And anything that's enhanced, obviously. Anything that's enhanced in 2018, I'm looking forward to as well.
Microsoft got you on that finesse. Huh?
Hey,
I'm joking.
I like enhanced stuff.
No, speaking of enhanced, I just jumped into Witcher 3, switched that performance mode on.
Looks good, huh?
Gotta put some water on that damn shit. That looks good, man.
Yeah, I just want to say in 2017 or 2018, I hope certain members of the Xbox community get it together. Stop harassing journalists. Stop falling for conspiracy theories.
I think what would probably be a more conductive way of dealing with that entire situation is to ignore it as a whole, because the more focus that is put on that, the more interactions that surround that, the more fuel that's put on the fire, and it just burns brighter.
Like I said, I would like for them just to enjoy gaming, have fun, maybe smoke some crack, play some video games.
I don't smoke crack.
Yeah, I don't smoke crack either.
No, he just smokes enhanced.
Oh my god.
Enrique smokes designer drugs.
That could be a new strand. I can think about that, Bells. Thank you. Enhanced. I've got that 4K.
I told you 4K is the dude that sells weed at the 7-Eleven.
That's Zer. The 9. Oh my god. All right. So I think that's it for this evening. I think we've gone through all our topics. Anyone have anything else they may want to talk about before we wrap up?
Make a strain of weed.
Eric, you really are.
What's that? What'd you say?
You're doing Christmas decorations.
I was doing arts and crafts, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, hopefully everybody has a great, safe Christmas holiday. What I mean? Hopefully you get all the gamers out there get those games that they were wanting throughout the years that they haven't picked up. Maybe their special loved one. Put some up under the tree for them. So hope everybody has a good holiday, man.
The live chat has turned into heroin and meth talk right now.
Okay, well that's on you.
And butt sex. What is going on in the live chat?
Okay, so it sounds like somebody's been watching too much Rick and Morty.
It's irrelevant native.
I'm gonna actually put these seeds way up your ass, Morty.
Yeah, we want to wish everyone a happy holidays, and well, thank everyone for your support here in 2017. We've actually we've grown quite a bit. Eric, it's funny, man, because I think you joined BRAP right around we had like 90 subs. maybe less.
Mhm.
You know, so and Bella, it's obviously a big thank you to you as well, because you have been um, you know, you've come in and been a great guest. At times, have helped steer the podcast in a good direction.
Thank you.
And be money, man. Yeah, man. We obviously you know, owe a lot of our success to you too, man. So you know, thank you guys as well, and big shout out to Mr. Negative. Couldn't make it, but and yeah, just shout out to everyone who's joined us every week. You know, to listen to us kind of listen to us talk about video games, and listen to my rants. So we appreciate every one of you. So so thank you, much love. Remember, Enhanced Games 2018. That's what it's all about.
I'm chopping down wild dogs in 60 frames, or I think it's 60 frames per second.
Oh, so you're not doing what's it called, holiday stuff.
No, Bella told me to stop. She told me to put the arts and crafts down, you know?
Put the crap down. Pick up a controller.
I need more sticks for my hot glue gun anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but seriously, guys, thank you so much for being a part of BRAP, and again, all those who've
You're not gonna cry over here, are you?
yeah.
I think he is gonna
You'll start ugly crying. Snot bubbles and everything.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. But anyhow, seriously,
I want to thank everybody. I want to thank like my mom for like conceiving me so I could actually be here to host this podcast with you today. And I want to thank like Microsoft for like making amazing games, and Sony for like having great narrative-driven story games. And I just want to thank like Nintendo for trying for all these years and finally succeeding. But last but more importantly, I really want to thank my beer for making me this emotional that I'm crying on my own podcast. That's kind of the vibe you're giving out right now, Enrique.
it's the holidays. That's the kind of vibe I can give. Yeah, yeah.
You know, that King Kong eggnog.
Yo, what? You say King Kong eggnog?
That King Kong eggnog.
What is that? Is that like a thing?
Huh?
Is that like a thing?
Like eggnog with like codeine in it or something.
Oh shit! That sounds like lean, man. But no, thank you, everyone who subscribed this year. Thank you, we appreciate you, and everyone have a happy and safe holidays. And Bella, why don't you let everyone know where they can find you?
Sure. Well, I'm not going to let them know where they can find me, but if they want to talk to me on social media, you can locate me at Miss Bella on Twitter. You can find me on realgamemedia.com, my website, and the Facebook page. And yeah, look, come and check out what we do. We've got a lot of reviews, a lot of gaming news, a really good team there who are all about interacting with the community and making sure that everybody feels welcome, that their opinions are valid, and you know, just wanting to have genuine, good conversations about video games. So come check out what we do. Other than that, check out our Facebook page. We've got all of our content up there. It's a really good place for you to meet other gamers and build some gaming friendships and relationships. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. All right, thank you. B Money, where can people find you?
Yeah, man, you can find me on Twitter at my name, BMoney101. You can find me on Tick Network as well, and on Tick Podcast every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We actually did our last show last Saturday, and we'll be back probably the first week of January. So you can take the time to check out the network and catch up on a lot of old episodes. But we'll be back top of the year with all the great shows that we have on the network. So I'm looking forward to 2018. I think we ended 2017 off pretty nicely, and then my Bulls are finally winning 7 straight right now, so at least they're watchable right now. So shout to the Bulls for at least giving me a reason to turn on TV. And, who's that? No, he's not back yet.
Oh.
He'll probably be back in probably late January or early February. They might hold him off till like the All-Star break, but
Mm.
he's ready, man. He's practicing, he's dunking. You know what I mean, doing what he does. So
That's what's
I'm
up.
looking forward to that. And I got to shout out, just a couple artists. You know what I mean, from released like dope music this year. Saha the Prince and Joyner Lucas, who just brought lyricism back, you know what I mean, to the rap game. And none of
Joyner, man, it's my new dude.
Did they bring bars back?
They brought bars back, man, in a
man.
major way. No more of that mumble rap and all this nonsense that most of these kids listen to. So they put out some grown man music.
They bring sexy back.
I appreciate
it. So to speak. No more of this tinker toy piano rap.
Yeah, man, none of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, B.
That is too funny.
That dude Joyner got it, man.
Oh yeah, he's not.
B, I just want to say something, man. You guys are doing great stuff on tech. Bella, you guys are doing great stuff at RGM. So just, keep up the great work in 2018.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Great work here too, man. I told you, slow and steady, man. Continue to grow.
I remember you telling me that. You said it's a slow grind, and you're right, man. Look how much we've grown over the last couple of weeks, man. Even the last couple of weeks, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
A steady drip of water eventually wears away a rock.
Oh my! Did you just snort some acid or something?
Yeah.
I think it's all this hot glue.
Yeah. Get off! You smoke crack, don't you?
Oh man!
Just jump! You smoke crack, don't you? Boy, waste my time.
Oh man!
We gotta go.
On that note, it's time for you to get ready to press that red button, Enrique. So we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This has been another Brap podcast.
Say a big shout out to the Iron Lords too. Peace.